Hello, this is Matt on the Moon Lambo channel. Got a few things to discuss in this latest Moon Lambo hot jam. How about this headline from you today? XRP reserves skyrocket. Major exchange adds 44.9 million more XRP. Now, folks, why do you think that might be? We're going to talk about it. There's also this headline from the Daily Huddle. Venture capitalist Dan Tapiero says crypto in early stages of bull market, significant Bitcoin correction unlikely. And I'm going to start by sharing with you just a quick update from a couple XRP chart analysts, and then we'll get into those stories. But before going further, I do want to be clear, I do not have a financial background of any kind. I am not offering financial advice, and you definitely should not buy or sell anything because of anything I say or write. I'm just an enthusiast who enjoys making YouTube videos about crypto-related topics, but just as a hobby and just for fun. So there's this post from chart analyst Cryptos, and this is from 11:03 a.m. this morning, just as Bitcoin was starting to go freaking ballistic. And he wrote, XRP nice bounce and attempting to break out from the inverse head and shoulders, which of course would be very bullish should we see the continuation of that. And he provided an update just this evening at 8:30 p.m. Central Time, which is my time zone. And he said, XRP moving slowly as usual. Daily inverse head and shoulders. First target, 57.8 cents. So he's still optimistic we're going to be seeing a move to the upside. And of course, it doesn't hurt that Bitcoin's been doing well today. The market moves in tandem. But that's not the only reason to think that we should be positive as XRP holders as it pertains to XRP price. This is the latest from chart analyst D. Greg Crypto. I shared this morning, 3:33 a.m. Central Time. So before we saw all the mania from today. And what a fun day it was. It was a very fun day in crypto. And we should always appreciate these days because they're few and far between. Most of what it is to be an investor in crypto is to just be moving sideways or slightly up, slightly down, whatever it may be. But appreciate these days. It's okay to get excited about it. Have fun with it. Because I'll tell you what, on the negative days, you sure as hell feel the misery, don't you? Okay, so then I'll tell you, when you have a move to the upside, then just have fun with it. And I think most of you probably are, but I just wanted to tell you. So anyway, this is an XRP price chart. And then Igor Crypto had the following to say, and this is without the benefit of hindsight we now have, because we know what happened throughout the rest of today, right? But he already said, no, chart's already looking pretty damn good, honestly. And so he wrote, XRP weekly chart, super bullish setup. Historical data is crystal clear. On the XRP weekly time frame, we're seeing consolidation below the 100 WMA, which historically acts as resistance until a breakout occurs. Two key data points support this analysis. Number one, the 100 WMA is currently serving as a strong support level, see chart below, indicating significant bullish momentum from a macro perspective. And number two, the next bull run is likely to begin from levels above the 100 WMA, suggesting a more advantageous setup for XRP compared to previous cycles. So, and I'll say that in addition to this, and I'm not going to pull up a bunch of XRP charts because that's not the primary purpose of this video, but I did want to mention it at least because there are a lot of analysts out there, and there seems to be pretty broad agreement that resistance level, what was resistance anyway, of about 54 cents, it's been holding up. So at some point it is going to, so even if it's consolidating and just forming a stronger base, fine. At some point it is going to take off. And you never know exactly when it's going to happen, but I've been in XRP specifically over 6 years. And so, just as is the case with crypto, broadly speaking, certainly in holding, as it pertains to holding XRP specifically, most of that experience is downward or sideways price action. That's pretty much what it is. Until one day you wake up and it's not. And I've had a number of those instances over the years. It's just that, again, they're few and far between. But there does seem to be this broad expectation that even if the initial burst for XRP isn't going to take us into a new all-time high, it's going to be substantial. And I keep getting that general sentiment from just about every analyst I follow that covers XRP. So take it for what it's worth. We'll see what happens. But that's not normally what I see from chart analysts. And it's not surprising given where we are right now. We're in an exciting time. Markets have been bullish. Stock market's been bullish. Crypto's been bullish, broadly speaking. Things looking the best they've really ever looked for XRP. In terms of positioning, right? And then there's this from the Daily Hodl. Venture capitalist Dan Tapiero says crypto in early stages of bull market, significant Bitcoin correction unlikely. Macro investor and fund manager Dan Tapiero says that digital assets are in the early stages of their bull run, making a deep correction for Bitcoin very unlikely. In a new video update on the Wealthion YouTube channel, Tapiero, the CEO of investment firm 10T Holdings, tells host and Skybridge Capital founder Anthony Scaramucci that he doesn't envision the crypto king dipping to $20,000 again. And I'll just pause to note here. Part of the reason I like these types of stories in crypto media is because I'm always interested in this perspective from people who are running various types of funds in the world of crypto, because they can kind of feel the pulse of what's going on when it comes to investing specifically. Like they're in that, like they're in the heat of it. Like they are absolutely, they're in the trenches, and they have the connections that they have. And if you consider, and he makes this point in this article actually, but if you consider the sentiment and how people are approaching his fund and responding to his fund and others in the crypto asset class broadly speaking, compare that to a couple years ago, and there is no comparison. And so the thing to note here, like, that's the case today, basically. I mean, fine, technically this was the other day. This is before the biggest run up we just saw today. Fine, but you get the cut of my jib, right? This is very recent. And so anyway, piece continues. However, he notes there could be a short-term correction for the top crypto asset by market cap. And folks, even though we have the benefit of hindsight that he didn't have, and we saw that, there was like a $6,000 candle for Bitcoin on the daily, even so, it's still, Bitcoin's not going to go up in a straight line forever. It doesn't mean there wouldn't be a retrace to the downside. And so we'll see how high it goes, or maybe it'll be pulled back further by the time you're watching this. Either way, I'm just saying it doesn't change. It doesn't make his perspective invalidated or less insightful. But anyway, so he said the following, quote, "So if you're saying, do I think we're going to go back down to the $20,000, $18,000 lows in Bitcoin? I don't see it at all. I think we're in the second inning of this bull market, so I'd be much more concerned and think that there could be problems potentially if I felt we were in the seventh inning, the eighth inning. The bullish consensus at 75 to 80%, I mean, that's an issue, but maybe it just means you have a short-term correction. We're just getting started here," end quote. Yeah, and so I will note, obviously, when you have long periods of extreme greed, which we haven't really had, we've had a number of days of extreme greed, not really lining up with one another. But when you do get to a certain point, when there's too much of a consensus that, hey, this is fantastic, there inevitably, every single time this has ever happened in the history of this asset class, there has been a correction. Now, many times that has happened during a bull run, but not the end of a bull run. Yes, eventually there's an end, and finally there's the one that brings it back down, and then you're in a bear market for years. But there are a lot of instances where historically you have had, 20, 30, 35% pullbacks in a bull market for Bitcoin. There's tons of historic precedent for that. So yes, there's a lot of people agreeing, hey, this is awesome right now. That in and of itself doesn't necessarily indicate we're at the end of the cycle, right? That's the point I'm trying to get across here. And then he also said the following. Here we go. Markets are discounting, I said it with a weird cadence. Markets are discounting mechanisms. And I think that all the bad news that you could possibly have ever dreamed up happened in 2022. And I think you had a low in Q4 2022 that was relatively obvious. Yeah, I'll pause and note, I agree. You can go back to my videos around that time period, an FTX collapse. You can go see what I was writing on X, which was then known as Twitter. I was like, well, okay, don't know for sure if this is the exact bottom, but it's a capitulation event. So if it goes lower, I'll buy even more, but I'm buying right here. That's what I was doing, because that's what I think makes sense when people are in extreme fear. That's when you do it. And now here we are over a year later, and I'm very glad I did what I did. I'm very glad that I accumulated. And anyway, his quote continues. "So do I think that there's another FTX out there? No. I'm seeing a lot of really interesting information from companies, and anyone that was having difficulty is now not. And we were not seeing that 3 years ago, 2 years ago." End quote. And so I always appreciate the insight from people that are in the know to that degree. It's like, yeah, companies not really having a hard time right now, which isn't particularly surprising, but good to hear, right? From you today, XRP reserves skyrocket. Major exchange adds 44.9 million more XRP. Well, folks, why might this be happening? OKX, the renowned global crypto exchange, has revealed staggering figures regarding its reserves in the latest monthly proof of reserves audit. The report, released today, highlighted a notable surge in XRP reserves, marking a significant milestone for the exchange. As of February 21st, OKX's reserves not only exceeded the industry standard for leading cryptocurrencies like Bitcoin, Ethereum, USDT, and USDC, but also showcased an exceptional increase in reserves for XRP. The exchange reported an additional 44.9 million XRP added to its reserves over the past month alone, bringing the total to an impressive 250.958 million tokens. This surge in reserves reflects OKX's commitment to ensuring robust backing for its users' XRP holdings, with the exchange now boasting reserves estimated at 259 million XRP, equivalent to approximately $137.58 million. Such substantial reserves underscore OKX's pivotal role in facilitating global crypto trading and reinforcing confidence among XRP holders utilizing the platform. The disclosure of these excess reserves not only highlights OKX's dedication to maintaining financial integrity, but also sheds light on the ongoing evolution of the crypto landscape. The surge in XRP reserves signifies growing demand and interest in the digital asset, further solidifying its position on the market. And so that's the key part that I wanted to get out there. Why are they doing that? I mean, it's already back sufficiently. What about what are they expecting in the future? Demand go up or demand go down? Demand go up. This is just one more thing that you could look at. It's a positive story. It's good. You'll like to see this. There have been a number of stories along these lines, and so fine. I understand not all people are thrilled with XRP price. To me, I'm just kind of like, whatever. It's doing normal stuff. It's number 6 in market cap. Like, it's one of the most successful cryptos ever, even if it's not doing what you want it to do right now. Look at the last decade plus. It's been incredible. It just has. But if you look at what's been happening for much of, even call it the last, 8 months or so, especially since it got legal clarity, I've covered the stories. Every time they popped up, I've covered them properly. But there's been so many institutions purchasing XRP. And so say what you will about XRP price, even if you're one of the naysayers about XRP, which probably isn't most of you listening, but even for those people, like, facts are facts. And you can look at the institutional money, which behaves differently than the, typical lemming retail specter, the dumb money. Different behaviors here. What's the smart money doing? Much of those types of entities have been purchasing. It's just fact. And so again, this is just one more thing. It's not the end all be all, but hey, OKX, stocking up on XRP. I'll tell you what, I know what I hate, and I don't hate this. I'm not a financial advisor. You should not buy or sell anything because of anything I say or write. That would be a very, very, very bad idea. Until next time, to the moon, Lambo.